Edward Brown, host of the Best of Investing, here to remind you to tune in this week on Saturday at 8 p.m. We're going to be talking about the economy and real estate. You're not going to want to miss this show. That's the Best of Investing on Saturday at 8. Welcome. You're listening to the Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate given away during the show. That certificate's not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. Today's trivia theme is comparing, and you'll understand why when we get to the commercial break where we ask the trivia question. Now, today we do have a special guest, William Lamb from the company do you just pronounce it Upgrade?
Yes, Upgrade.
Okay, because it's a UPGRD, to discuss optimizing human capital, its impact on excellence in real estate, fund management, and venture capital. Give a little background here. William is a visionary entrepreneur and CEO and founder of Upgrade, a groundbreaking movement that's revolutionizing the way we perceive personal development. Born out of William's profound understanding of human potential, Upgrade isn't just an experience, it's a mission to upgrade the very operating system of your mind. What sets William and Upgrade apart is a unique blend of expertise in computer science and data-driven approach. They envisage? Is that how you pronounce that? I'm looking at this and it says they envisage, okay, the human mind as an operating system, and their mission is to elevate it to new heights. Maybe they mean envision. This isn't just a theory, it's a practical, tangible solution. Their work primes individuals to access the unconscious mind with unprecedented speed, acting as a bridge between one's inner world and external reality. In essence, Upgrade sets the stage for a mindset calibrated for profitability and tangible results. William, welcome to the Best of Investing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Okay. Yeah, so give us a little bit more background. I mean, I read quite a lot there, but tell us exactly what you do in layman's terms.
You read it from our marketing team, so
I did,
yes.
Yeah.
What we do in layman's term is we help people upgrade their mind and therefore upgrade their performance and their quality of life.
Right. And how does one upgrade their mind?
Now, a good way to explain that is the mind is organized in a way that a lot of people have never been taught. And by understanding how the mind is organized, how our identity and our values and our beliefs influence each other and influence our behaviors, and how to rearrange that in the simplest words, we can actually change the outcome quite quickly.
Okay. Can you give us some practical strategies or exercises that professionals in real estate and finance can implement to achieve this?
Yeah, that's what we do all the time. And if I may, I'll give a metaphor. This will help explain everything. So imagine, do you have an iPhone or Android phone or?
Yeah, I've got a Samsung.
Okay, got it.
Android.
And how old is it?
Interestingly enough, tomorrow I'm going to have to upgrade it because there's a little squirrel in there that's asking for more nuts. So
that's fair.
It's a little slow.
Got it. And I think that once you upgrade, you'll have a hard time wanting to go back.
Probably.
Now, would you ever want to switch back to a Palm Pilot or BlackBerry?
Probably not. Just 2 tin cans and a string for when I need to talk to somebody. But other than that, you're right.
What about
once you have it,
the old Nokia?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like I used to have, now probably this was before you were born, but I used to use Lotus 1-2-3 for spreadsheets. And then once somebody forced me to use Excel, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how good this is. So I kind of get what you're talking about.
So the upgrade is in every way an upgrade. So now the key point here is if I were to give you a Palm Pilot, even the earlier versions, right? Especially the earlier versions,
Yeah.
you would be like, this is amazingly terrible. It was amazing back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
but now it's
Exactly.
just terrible, right? So
Yeah.
that's because you're exposed to newer technology. You're exposed to things that you can utilize now that really helps.
Okay. Tell you what, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. All right. Okay. Here's our first trivia question. Again, we're talking about comparing. All right. And again, just as a reminder, William, if you know the answer, don't say anything yet. We want to give the audience a chance to do this. Okay. Gravity is to Newton as relativity is to whom? All right. Call 888-912-1190. The first caller with the correct answer is going to win that tanning certificate, which, by the way, is worth over $100. So again, gravity is to Newton as relativity is to whom? All right. What would be the equivalent comparison there? All right. That's our trivia question to win this tanning certificate. I do want to make a mention here for iTex. Actually, I'll make that mention when we get back. All right, because I want people to understand what iTex is also. Okay, stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my special guest, William Lamb. I do want to answer the trivia question, though. First trivia question. Gravity is to Newton as relativity is to, what would be a comparison?
Are we talking about Einstein?
So, yeah, Einstein. Very good. Okay, that would be our comparison on that. Very good, William. All right, dude. Now I want to make a mention for iTex, which is a barter system, which is totally above board. They give 1099s, totally legal, taxable, and all that. But what ends up happening is that you join the system, and if you have, let's say, services that you want to perform, maybe a plumber needs you as an accountant, but you don't need plumbing services. You might need an electrician. So you just basically earn these dollars, they stay in the account, and then you can use them however you want. And in a lot of these barter companies, you've got the San Francisco Giants in there. I don't see too many Warrior tickets, but you can buy jewelry. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. So check them out at itex.com. All right, in the quote studio here, we are doing this through Zoom. You're in Arizona, aren't you?
I am.
Yep. So you're an hour ahead. Okay. Weather's probably pretty good there. So William Lamb from the company Upgrade, you were starting to get into kind of a comparison of like a Palm Pilot and how we'd want to upgrade from that. So why don't you continue?
Yeah, most humans just simply don't know that their operating system may be outdated and in fact heavily influenced by the trauma of war and economic downturns over the last century, frankly. And so just in the last, and if we were to stretch a little further and say just the last 400 years alone, each one of us need 4,000 people to make one of us, 4,000 ancestors. So in just the 400 years that have passed, we've had 4,000 ancestors. And we can do the math later, but essentially that's like parents, grandparents, all that whole 9 yard, on both sides. Well, that's a lot of trauma, and that's a lot of different experiences and beliefs blended together. So really what we are running in our minds is an operating system that's a combination of all of these people's lives and learnings.
Oh, okay.
But no one's sitting around like a computer, user experience engineer that's like, hey, I think that this is the best way to make your mind work most efficiently and effectively. Nobody's sitting around to design this operating system for the human mind until we came around.
And so what do you actually do? Is it like a meditative state, or I'm still trying to understand exactly what do you? I understand the idea of having an upgrade in your mind, so to speak. But how do you do that? What do you do?
So we actually utilize visual, auditory, kinesthetic ways of organizing our thoughts and our beliefs, and even what's deeply unconscious that we call values, right? Which is what's important to someone, and even the identity traits. We can actually organize them and attach them to visual, auditory, kinesthetic signals, and then we would rearrange them so that the individual would literally change their personality or their beliefs or their behavior entirely, or to a small degree in a very precise way.
I mean, it almost sounds like a hypnosis type of thing.
That's
But
what some people well, let me put it this way. What we are doing is aggregating and using tools from the ancient time all the way to modern time and science so that we can create a set of comprehensive tools for people to be able to change their minds.
okay, and it sounds like also I think I remember reading part here about being more efficient.
Yep.
That part of the idea. It's interesting. I think about like what's going on in the world nowadays, where everybody seems so distracted because there's less people to do a certain amount of work, and everybody's getting more stuff piled on them, and they have to multitask more. And there just appears to be a lot more pressure, especially for younger people who were doing two jobs, now they're doing four people's jobs.
Yeah.
Is it that sort of thing where you kind of help them navigate through stuff like that?
That could be part of it, and also the people that are performing at an elite level are also finding themselves getting distracted too, right? So regardless of where they
Sure.
are financially or success-wise, where they are in the journey, the people we have a problem of too much data. There's too much data,
Yeah.
right? And that too much data
Yes.
means unless we're trained on how to sift through the data and filter the data, it's
Yeah.
we're left to, frankly, the corporations deciding, hey, this ad, they're paying more money so that you're getting served this ad more, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
Hmm.
when it comes to personal and business decisions we make, oftentimes it's still heavily influenced by other people rather than our own ability to
Yeah.
filter data.
Interesting. You might kind of be sold a bill of goods without realizing it, in a
Yeah.
way. All right. When we come back from another break, I do want to get into a little bit more of the from a business standpoint in real estate, because apparently part of this is the real estate. One of the questions here would be the predictability in investing is a sought after quality. How can leaders in the financial industry implement your methods to achieve more reliable and consistent results? That'll be an interesting question for you. Okay. All right. We're going to go to our second trivia question here. We're talking comparing. This one should be kind of easy too. The Eiffel Tower is to Paris as Big Ben is to which city? All right. Figured we kind of give you a few easy ones here. Call 888-912-1190. First caller with the correct answer wins that tanning certificate, which, again, by the way, is worth over $100. Also want to make a quick mention here for Mountain Mike's Pizza in San Rafael. The Super Bowl is going to be coming up here in a few weeks, and what better way to enjoy it than with Mountain Mike's Pizza in San Rafael? Pizza the way it ought to be. All right, stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. Don't touch that dial because we are going to be right back. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, along with my special guest, William Lamb. Um, Second trivia question is kind of easy too. We're talking comparisons here. The Eiffel Tower is to Paris as Big Ben is to William. What's the answer?
London.
London. Very good. 2 for 2. I
Hey, I
like
think you're
that. All
helping
right.
me out
So
so that I'm not too embarrassed.
I'm helping
Yeah.
you out a little bit. No, you're doing it all on your
Thank
own.
you.
All right. So William Lamb from the company Upgrade. And I kind of teased the audience with a question I was going to ask you before we went to break. So predictability in investing is a sought after quality. How can leaders in the financial industry implement your methods to achieve more reliable and consistent results?
That is a fantastic question. In fact, I think the answer lies within something that we often don't consider, which is it's not which opportunity we should go after, is how good is our brain at filtering opportunities and people. Just like you said earlier,
Oh,
distractions, right? Well, it
yeah.
exists
Yeah.
within everyone's life because nowadays we are bombarded with so much data. Well, we have a unique formula that we teach where investors and entrepreneurs or real estate professionals and financial professionals, they can begin to design the type of people and opportunities that they like to work with. And by designing, I don't mean like, oh, write down 5 attributes of what you want. And I don't mean like marketing strategies where you design your avatar.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is something
Mhm.
far more precise. And it's so
Okay.
precise that you would want to create rows and columns. I would write 25 attributes. I would even have a scoring system at which we teach that so that you can evaluate what's actually important to you. Now, there are a couple of parts to it, and not getting into too much detail. Sometimes what's important to
Yeah.
us is that it's caused by past negative experiences, like, oh, we got screwed in a deal. Therefore, something's really important,
Gotcha.
right? Like honesty or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, but if we put that
Yeah.
on the top and we haven't learned our lesson, we will find ourselves filtering deals that continue to tries to teach us that same lesson.
I understand what you mean, and that's I can see exactly what you're talking about. That happens. Yeah, it's like, so if you're looking at, let's say, like for a real estate investor, if he has had a bad experience in a certain city,
Hmm.
then it'll be filtered through that, or maybe a type of asset. Oh, never invest in storage
Yeah.
as an example. I got hurt on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're very interesting. Um, so what do people do? They hire you? Do they come down to see you? Do you do it through Zoom? What, how do, if people first of all, if people are interested in your services a little bit more, how do they get a hold of
They
you?
can go onto our website or follow us on social media. So our website's upgrade.com, spelled as upgrd.com. And nice thing
Okay.
about us is that we have a lot of free content so people can begin to participate immediately. And for those who are
Okay.
really interested in having one-on-one help from our team of experts, and they're really concierge more than anything, they're concierge level
Mhm.
mental programmers, meaning they will help program the client's mind to optimize what they're doing with their career and with their personal life. And so we have a full team of
How
staff.
many of these professionals? Yeah, how big is your
Our
team?
operation is about 23 people right now, and
Oh,
not huge,
okay.
but very agile. And our professional, our concierge team, there's roughly about 9 or 10 people, and they can handle quite a
Okay.
few, uh, you know, people.
And do they have probably certain expertise? Someone might be really good at tech versus real estate.
So you mean like what client, like where the client's coming from, what industry?
Well, I was thinking of your professional staff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If someone, let's say, in the real estate profession, they would go to one person versus someone who's into tech might go somewhere to a different person.
Yes and no. So, for example,
Okay.
we have a gentleman that came from running Porsche and Audi. We helped them
Okay.
go from 10 million to 50 million. They actually went from uh, a dealership that was not anywhere on the map to number three, I think, in the country. So we're talking to that gentleman potentially and helping us coach, right? But if we were to give him clients, it'd likely be dealerships and RV or automotive. So yes, we do select
Yeah.
that.
So how did like, obviously you don't get into who it is, but how did you help? How did you help him go from 10 million to 50 million? Like what was this secret sauce type of thing that helped him?
It's that's like asking what's the secret sauce to the latest Android or iOS. Why is it so much faster than Palm Pilot? It's improving upon
Okay.
all aspects. So I'll give you more specifics.
Okay.
We're talking about decision making strategies, how to help someone improve and optimize that. We're talking about how to help someone choose better people to be put on their team because most entrepreneurs who are actually scaling their business, they're not self-employed just working by themselves, they're scaling their team. Well, if
Yeah.
they don't know how to design their team, recruit their team, and be persuasive when they're recruiting, people aren't going to stick with them.
Yeah.
And if they can't have people stick with them, they don't have anyone to manage, right? So we also teach them how to communicate in a way that optimizes their management and leadership style. So all of that together.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of those people, they don't hire the right
Yeah.
people. So it's easy as an entrepreneur to get caught up in a very tunnel vision and just not hiring the right people. Tell you what, let's go to our next commercial break. Very interesting stuff. You're the first person we've had on in how long we've been doing this now for 13 years to have this kind of a business. So it's very interesting. Okay, our third trivia question on comparisons. Robin Hood is to merry men as D'Artagnan, or D'Artagnan as he is known in English, is to what? All right. Robin Hood is to merry men as D'Artagnan is to X. Okay. All right. Call 888-912-1190. First caller with correct answer wins that tanning certificate. Don't touch that dial. The Best of Investing will be right back. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my special guest, William Lamb. Third trivia question on comparisons. Robin Hood is to merry men as D'Artagnan, as they say in France, and in English it's D'Artagnan, is to...
Are we talking about the Musketeers?
Musketeers, very good. In fact, I think he was really actually the fourth Musketeer, right? Wasn't it Athos, Pathos, and Aramis? And then D'Artagnan added... We always think of him, but I think he was the fourth Musketeer, actually. But yeah, very good. The Musketeers. 3 for 3, not bad. I like it. All right. So let's see. Let's go on here. Actually, you know what? We've got so much stuff that we're gonna have to have you on again. But why don't you go into whatever you want, and rather than me asking you questions. You know, because I mean, it's fascinating to hear about the car dealership increasing from 10 million to 50 million. Like what would you do for people in real estate?
You know, people in real estate need to design who they want to work with, but there are two parts to it, especially now we're in the beginning of a new season. I would say people need to design what they want, and they need to design the people that can bring them what they want. So here's what I mean by that specifically. First off, most people set goals that are actually just big enough that their mind's going to make them work harder for. They know they can work harder, just maybe 10, 20, 30% harder, and they can achieve their goals. Most people set those goals. But the problem is, if we continue to set those goals, our mind literally will just make us work harder, because working hard becomes the most predictable path. Well, in order to break free from that, we actually need to set goals that are so much bigger that we cannot work harder to achieve. Therefore, our mind has to find the alternative path, which is to unlock more resources.
I always thought my goal should be to make more and work less.
Yes, that's why you're the host here, my friend.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. I like this guy.
and the truth is, what you said is exactly correct. Unfortunately, so many people unconsciously will follow the path of work harder, sacrifice more, and not enjoy more. And so the first thing I recommend for real estate and people that are in real estate is to design a bigger goal, design a bigger impact, design a bigger amount of abundance, and then design the appropriate individuals that they believe they need in their network to help them achieve that. It's no longer about the how, it's more about the who and the why.
Interesting. I know it's an easy way for people to probably understand this is, a lot of people can understand. It's like, if you put in 8 hours a day, you can work and get X done. And even maybe 9 and 10 hours a day, you can get more done. But if you try to work 24 hours in a day, you're not going to be productive.
Diminishing return.
At some point, you're going to be, exactly. Now, what that is for people, I don't know. But it's like sometimes I'll be working and I'll just kind of realize, you know what, I'm kind of getting to the end and I'm going to give just a few more minutes, and then boom, I just say, okay, that's it, I'm done. And I've been pretty good at that, to shutting it off, because I realize it's, I'm going to make mistakes, or, I'm not going to be happy because, I want to be happy. I like doing this. I like doing other things.
Yeah.
So again, remind everybody how to get a hold of you because it sounds like what your main, or one of the main things that you help people do is increase their productivity.
That's one of them, but exponentially. We're talking about how much could we really do if I gave you a supercomputer, which we all are, but we upload the slowest operating system from the 80s, it's not going to work well. What we're doing is, how can we give
Mhm.
someone the cutting edge operating system? So we basically map that
Mhm.
across all of our most successful clients, and we've constructed a operating system utilizing the people that are doing 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond figures in their financial success, and who are also successful in other areas of their life.
Is it fair to ask, uh, kind of just point blank, how much does it cost for your
Oh
services?
man,
I'm sure it ranges,
there's a
you
range.
know.
Our most popular program are between 10,000 to 30,000. And yet we have services like, if people want to engage with our team of concierge, that's only actually 6,000 to $10,000. But we also have programs for like everyone who doesn't even know us yet to get to know us at $49 a month.
Oh, that's a good start. How much time do they get to spend with you for that
Uh, so
smaller
they
amount?
will it'll be self-served. So it'll be a do-it-yourself program. So for the $49, it's self-served. I will occasionally pop on and do some live trainings, but typically where my time is spent is with people that are really heavily investing into it themselves in our live trainings. So those are like 25K to, we have a $2 million program. So we have everything in between that range where I'm typically more present.
How many people pay the $2 million
That's kind of a
program?
secret because some of the names I can't
Yeah.
disclose as well. So, but
Okay,
there's been
more
we
than
keep a
one.
limit of 10 people at any given time. So we won't enroll more than 10 people.
Gotcha. Okay, well, sounds like you're very successful. It sounds like it's working.
It's definitely
I
working.
mean,
We've been very blessed.
how long have you been doing this?
About 8 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, you've been around the block a
Yeah.
bit. You've seen the ups and downs. Sounds like you've got some success stories. If people go to your website, will they be able to see testimonials
Tons.
maybe? Or,
In fact, our website
okay.
has a testimonials page that has a
Okay.
small percentage of the testimonials that we've gathered over the years. We have significantly more. Um, Especially most of our clients, I'd say 60 to 70% of our clients over the years, uh, they come from either real estate or some sort of investing.
Yeah. But that totally makes sense. Um, William, again, we don't have time to get into all the other things that you were mentioning. So, if people want to get a hold of you, again, what's the best way?
I would say we're the most active on Instagram. And if they
Oh,
want to get a hold of us, they can get on our Instagram. There's a link on our bio. They can schedule a time right there, or they can go on our website, upgrade.com, upgrd.com, and they can literally contact us. There's a button that says contact. And there's even a free product on there that we used to charge $100 for, but is now completely free for the public. And so feel free to come and
all
join
right.
us there.
Great. William, thank you so much for joining us. Audience, don't touch that dial. Best of Investing. Be right. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host. Enjoyed having William Lamb on the show here to talk about his company Upgrade, UPGRD, Upgrade. And so I want to give a little update as to what we're doing at Pacific Private Money. So I manage the Pacific Southwest Note Fund. We've grown quite a bit in the last year. We're up to managing just under $9 million, no losses. And what we do is we buy discounted mortgages from around the country, pay our clients out just a straight 8.5%. The best part of it is the fact that it's extremely conservative because the average loan to value is less than 52%, I believe. And because we're buying these loans at a discount, our average investment to value is hovering around 37%. So to give an example, if the house is worth 100,000, just to make it easy, if the house is worth 100,000, the borrower actually owes 52,000, but we've only invested 37,000 in that mortgage. So if there's a foreclosure, there would actually be a handsome profit. But it's very rare that we have a foreclosure because people don't like to walk away from their houses when they have a lot of equity. And the fact that their mortgage payment is less than $600 a month, generally on the loans that we're buying, people can't move to a place that's cheaper. So, it's very, very rare that we have a foreclosure. So for more information on that, you can go to pacificprivatemoney.com and check out the invest page. We have a few other funds there that you can look at, but I happen to manage the Southwest Fund. And then one of the things that we're helping out with, one of our sponsors, is Scottsdale Mortgage Investing, Scottsdale Mortgage Investments. And they have a trade desk because if you want to invest with us in the Southwest Fund, you have to be an accredited investor, meaning that you have to have a net worth exclusive of your home of at least $1 million, or you have to be making $200,000 a year if you're single, $300,000 if you're married. If you wanted to then that's our fund. But if you wanted to just do one-offs where you can just buy an individual loan for $20,000 or $15,000 or whatever however the loan size is, it could be $200,000, could be $300,000. Then you can go to Scottsdale Mortgage Investments and sign up on their trade desk and see what loans they have in inventory for you to check out to see if you want to buy those loans. So they've been a great producer for us for the loans because we buy in bulk from them. But there's individual ones that they can one off to people. So check them out at ScottsdaleMortgageInvestments.com, and they happen to be in Scottsdale, so in Arizona, just like Williams located. And then again, if you want to invest in the fund where you can diversify, because that way you're not handling the foreclosures yourself. We handle everything. It's just like a mutual fund. But instead of stocks and bonds, it's mortgages. So we're basically the bank. You go to pacificprivatemoney.com, check on the invest box, and then go to the Southwest Fund if you're interested in that fund. We do have a couple of other funds to check out. But just go to the website, again, pacificprivatemoney.com, and you'll see what's available. All right. And that is going to do it for our show, except for we do have our famous thoughts for the day. So I was going to quit all my bad habits for the new year, but then I remembered that nobody likes a quitter. So forget that. And birthdays are good for you. Studies show that people who have the most of them live the longest. What? Isn't that amazing? Amazing, I tell you. All right, tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions and, of course, having more dad jokes, as we say. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long.